I'm about to tell you 107 facts about Dexter. So, whether you're completely new to the show or you've been watching for years, I bet you'll learn something new in this video. So sit back and grab your popcorn because this is going to be a long one. Fact 1. Michael C. Hall's reluctant casting. After starring in 6 Feet Under, Michael C. Hall was completely burned out from the grueling TV schedule. He was genuinely wary of making another television commitment because of how demanding his previous show had been. The guy was basically done with TV forever. But then the Dexter pilot script landed on his desk. The unique concept of a forensic analyst moonlighting as a serial killer completely changed his mind. This one script convinced him to take on what would become his career-defining role. Hall's hesitation almost cost us the most iconic TV killer of all time. Fact 2. Book-to-screen shift. Season 1 of Dexter follows Jeff Lindsay's novel Darkly Dreaming Dexter almost perfect. The ice truck killer storyline mirrors the book's plot beat for beat. But here's where it gets interesting. After season 1, the show completely diverged from the source material. The writers started creating totally original stories to keep the series going. This creative choice kept book fans constantly guessing about what would happen next. But it also sparked massive debates about staying faithful to the original novels. Sound familiar, Game of Thrones? Fact 3. Jennifer Carpenter's emotional exit. Jennifer Carpenter, who played the fiery Deborah Morgan, actually pushed for her character's death in season 8. She had internalized Deb's trauma so deeply that it was affecting her personally. Carpenter felt that killing off Deb was the only way to properly honor her character's emotional journey. Especially after Deb discovered Dexter's secret, Carpenter knew her character couldn't psychologically survive that revelation. The actress literally begged the writers to let Deb die because it felt like the only honest ending. Fact 4. Gory books versus toned down show. You think the TV show is bloody? Jeff Lindsay's novels are absolutely insane. The books contain explicit scenes of dismemberment and torture that would never make it to television. We're talking graphic descriptions of body parts being removed and victims being tortured. The TV series had to massively tone down the gore for cable audiences. Instead of focusing on graphic horror, the show emphasized psychological depth and character development. This choice made Dexter accessible to way more viewers while still keeping its dark edge. Fact 5. Clyde Phillips' departure. Original showrunner Clyde Phillips left Dexter after season 4's acclaimed Trinity Killer storyline in 2009. His exit completely shifted the show's tone and quality. Phillips had been the creative force behind the series' most beloved seasons. After he left, later seasons faced heavy criticism for inconsistent writing and weird character decisions. Fans still argue that Phillips' departure marked the exact moment when Dexter started going downhill. Season 4 was basically the show's creative peak. His exit completely shifted the show's tone and quality. Fact 6. Brian's adoption omission. In the novels, Harry Morgan deliberately chose not to adopt Dexter's brother, Brian Moser. Harry actually sensed Brian's darker nature and made the conscious decision to leave him behind. The original series simplifies this backstory and focuses more on Dexter's individual trauma. But this detail from the books adds tragic depth to Harry's impossible choices. Imagine knowing you're saving one damaged child while abandoning another to a terrible fate. The prequel series Dexter Original Sin does eventually cover this storyline, showing Brian being sent back into the foster system, while Dexter was eventually officially adopted by the Morgan family. Fact 7. Record-breaking finale. The 2013 series finale drew Showtime's largest audience ever at that time. Over 3 million viewers tuned in to watch the divisive lumberjack ending. Despite being one of the most hated finales in television history, it still broke viewership records. This massive audience proves just how powerful Dexter's cultural grip was. Even fans who knew they might hate the ending couldn't resist watching. The finale's controversy is still a hot topic on streaming platforms in 2025. Fact 8. From movie to series. Dexter was originally pitched as a feature film before Showtime decided on a series format. Can you imagine cramming Dexter's entire story into 2 hours? The series format allowed for much deeper exploration of his psychology and ongoing cat and mouse games with law enforcement. This decision set a precedent for serialized anti-hero dramas that followed. We probably wouldn't have Breaking Bad or other complex anti-heroes without Dexter proving the format worked. Fact 9. Hall's stalking practice. To nail Dexter's predatory stealth, Michael C. Hall secretly followed strangers in New York City. He would blend into crowds and practice going completely unnoticed by random people. This method acting brought chilling authenticity to Dexter's ability to stalk and hunt victims. Hall literally learned how to be invisible in plain sight. The fact that he practiced on real, unsuspecting people makes his performance even more captivating. It adds an unsettling authenticity to his performance. Method acting at its most disturbing. Fact 10. Julie Benz's audition swap. Julie Benz, known for playing Sweet Rita Bennett, originally auditioned for the role of Deborah Morgan. Casting directors saw her natural warmth and realized she'd be perfect for Dexter's unsuspecting wife instead. This casting decision amplified the heartbreak of Rita's shocking death in season 4. Having such a genuinely warm actress play the innocent victim made her murder even more devastating. Benz brought a believability to Rita that made viewers truly care about her fate. Fact 11. Real-life romance. Michael C. Hall and Jennifer Carpenter, who played siblings Dexter and Deb, actually married in real life in 2008. They met on set and fell in love despite playing brother and sister. Their 2010 divorce happened while they were still filming the show together. Amazingly, their personal drama didn't hurt their on-screen chemistry at all. They continued delivering intense sibling dynamics through the show's final season. Professional actors gonna act professionally. Fact 12. David Zayas' son as a double. In season 8, David Zayas' real son, David Jr., served as a body double for his father's character, Angel Batista. The family resemblance was so striking that producers could use him for certain shots. This family cameo added a personal touch to the production that most viewers never noticed. It's actually so sweet that Zayas got to work with his son on such an iconic show, father-son bonding through fake police work. Fact 13. Zayas' cop roots. David Zayas was an actual NYPD police officer before becoming an actor. His real law enforcement experience brought authentic cop behavior to the fictional Miami Metro Department. Zayas understood police procedures, hierarchy, and the day-to-day reality of detective work. This background lent serious credibility to Batista's compassionate yet savvy detective persona. Having a real cop in the cast grounded the show's police procedural elements. Fact 14. Zayas' military past. Before joining the NYPD, David Zayas served in the U.S. Air Force. His military background brought discipline and grit to his portrayal of Batista. You can see that military bearing in how he carries himself and interacts with authority figures. This background shaped Batista's steady, reliable presence in the chaotic homicide unit. Zayas' real-world experience in both military and police work made him incredibly valuable to the production. Fact 15. Hall and Carpenter's dynamic. Hall and Carpenter's real-life marriage lasted from 2008 to 2010, overlapping with seasons 3 through 6. Fans constantly speculated about how their personal relationship influenced their intense on-screen sibling tension. Some of Deb's most emotionally complex storylines happened during their marriage. Their personal bond during filming definitely added layers to their performances. Even after divorcing, they maintained incredible professional chemistry. Fact 16. Hall's cancer battle. In January 2010, Michael C. Hall was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, but continued filming Dexter throughout his treatment. His private struggle with a life-threatening illness eerily mirrored Dexter's hidden double life. Hall was literally fighting for his life while playing a character obsessed with death. The parallel between his real-life secret and his character's secret adds an extra layer of intensity to his performance. His commitment to the role during such a difficult time is absolutely incredible. Hall kept his cancer diagnosis secret from most of his co-stars and crew members. He wore hats and hoodies to conceal the hair loss from chemotherapy treatments. This secrecy perfectly paralleled Dexter's ability to compartmentalize and hide his true nature from everyone around him. The fact that Hall was hiding his real-life struggle while playing a character who hides everything added an eerie realness to the production. By April 2010, Hall announced that he was in remission from lymphoma. His recovery allowed him to focus fully on Dexter without the distraction of fighting cancer. His triumph over the disease inspired fans around the world. People still praise his resilience and determination on social media platforms. Hall's real-life victory over death made his portrayal of a character wholly preoccupied with killing all the more interesting. Before you watch any further, I'm happy to finally announce that I'm releasing the first limited drop of my t-shirts. At the start, there are only 100 available, so make sure you buy them while you can at dtmerch.store. Enjoy the video. Fact 17, wig workaround. For the first 5 episodes of Season 5, Hall wore a carefully crafted wig to hide his chemotherapy-induced hair loss. The makeup team did such seamless work that fans never noticed anything really different about his appearance. This technical achievement proves the incredible skill of the behind-the-scenes crew. They maintain perfect continuity while helping their lead actor through a medical crisis. The fact that this went completely unnoticed shows how professional the entire production was. Fact 18. Who was Harry's partner? In the original series, Harry is shown mourning the death of his partner Davy Sanchez. He was apparently so upset that the killer got away with it that he began officially training Dexter to take out killers. This fact appears to be retconned in the prequel series, as Harry's partner is presented as a man named Bobby Watt, portrayed by Reno Wilson. It confuses many fans who remember the plotline in which Harry kills himself shortly after walking in on Dexter dismembering Juan Rhinus, the man who killed Davy. It is possible that a second season of Original Sin could have explained the seeming inconsistencies and smoothed out the timeline, but now that it has been canceled in a decision that shocked many, there may never be an understanding of where Davy, Rhinus, and Bobby truly fall in Dexter and Harry's timeline. Kind of frustrating, isn't it? Fact 19. Trinity's ritual disrupted. Despite what Agent Lundy initially believed, Trinity's ritual actually involved killing in sets of 4. His cycle started with the abduction of a young boy who he would later bury alive. That was followed by the bathtub murder of a young woman, forcing a mother of 2 to jump to her death, and finally end when he bludgeoned a father to death. He killed in the exact same routine in every city he visited for over 30 years. In fact, the only known kills Trinity performed outside of his ritual happened after he met Dexter. The first was the murder of a man named Kyle Butler. Dexter had been using that name as an alias to get close to Trinity. The real Kyle Butler caught Arthur trying to break into his home one night, prompting Trinity to kill him to avoid being turned into the police. The only other kill that was outside of his ritual was the murder of Rita Morgan after he discovered Dexter's true identity. Dexter really threw Arthur off his game. Fact 20. Deb's swear record. Jennifer Carpenter's Deborah Morgan dropped the F-bomb exactly 996 times across all 8 seasons of the show. Couldn't make it an even 1,000, huh? Fans actually took the time to count every single curse word she said. Her constant profanity defined Deb's raw, no-filter personality perfectly. Carpenter's delivery made every curse feel natural and authentic to the character. Deb's swearing became such an iconic part of the show that it's still quoted widely on social media. Fact 21. Blood slide count. Dexter's blood slide collection contains roughly 134 victims based on shown and implied kills throughout the series. Each slide represented one of his carefully selected murders, but not every kill came with a blood slide. For his first kills, as well as the killing of his brother and a few select others, Dexter didn't take a trophy. The reasons why vary based on his emotional state and the stage he was in on his journey. Still, fans obsessively tracked Dexter's body count on forums and websites. This meticulous ritual of collecting blood samples fascinated viewers who tried to keep their own tallies. The slides became the perfect symbol of Dexter's methodical, trophy-collecting nature, something his father Harry never approved of. Fact 22. Lindsay's casting doubts. Author Jeff Lindsay initially opposed Michael C. Hall's casting as Dexter Morgan. Lindsay had envisioned a completely different physical type for his literary creation. He thought Hall was wrong for the role based on appearance and previous work, but Hall's absolutely chilling performance in the pilot episode completely changed Lindsay's mind. The author realized that Hall embodied the character's essence perfectly, despite not matching his original vision. Sometimes actors know the character better than their creators. Fact 23. Lithgow's Emmy win. John Lithgow's portrayal of the Trinity Killer in Season 4 earned him a well-deserved Emmy Award in 2010. His character was inspired by real serial killers like BTK. Lithgow's ability to portray both a loving family man and a brutal murderer was absolutely terrifying. The duality of his performance made Trinity one of the most haunting villains in television history. His Emmy win bolstered the very popular opinion that Season 4 was the show's creative and critical peak. Fact 24. Clever opening credits. The Dexter opening sequence brilliantly turns mundane morning activities into violent metaphors. Simple acts like shaving, cutting fruit, and cooking eggs become loaded with violent imagery. Blood drips and slicing motions hint at Dexter's killing rituals in plain sight. This artistic choice sets the show's dark tone perfectly from the very first episode. The opening credits are still considered one of the most creative and effective in television history. Fact 25. Golden Globe glory. Dexter nabbed 2 Golden Globe Awards during its run. Michael C. Hall won for Best Actor in a Television Series Drama in 2010. John Lithgow also won for Best Supporting Actor for his Trinity Killer performance. These prestigious wins solidified the show's place among television's elite dramas. The recognition is still celebrated by fans as proof of the show's quality and staying power. Even with the controversial finale of the original series, these awards represent Dexter at its absolute best. Fact 26. Marketing misstep. A 2006 promotional campaign sent fake crime scene text messages and emails to potential viewers. Some recipients mistook these messages for spam or actual threats. The bold marketing stunt generated complaints and highlighted the risks of early viral marketing. This campaign showed just how ahead of its time Dexter was in terms of innovative promotion. The fake crime scenes were meant to be immersive, but ended up being more confusing and concerning than effective. Fact 27. Real-world controversy. In 2009, teenager Andrew Conley claimed that watching Dexter inspired him to take his younger brother's life. This tragic case sparked intense debates about media violence and its potential influence on viewers. The incident became a dark footnote in the show's legacy that's still discussed today. Critics argued that the show glorified vigilante violence, while defenders claimed it actually explored the psychology of evil. This controversy illustrated the power and responsibility of creating morally complex entertainment. However, to this day, there is no statistically significant research linking the intake of violent media to consumers acting out violence in real life. Fact 28. Doomsday Killer. Dexter has always been multifaceted. Season 6's Doomsday Killer crafts elaborate murders based on the Book of Revelation. This religious angle challenged Dexter's typically secular worldview about justice and morality. The killer's apocalyptic themes added philosophical depth to the show's exploration of good and evil. Some fans found the religious symbolism heavy-handed, while others appreciated the added complexity. The season proved that Dexter could tackle spiritual themes alongside psychological ones. Fact 29. Harry's Code. Across all 96 episodes, Dexter follows Harry's Code with 2 primary rules: don't get caught, and 2, never hurt an innocent. This code drives Dexter's internal conflict throughout the entire series. The code represents an attempt to channel evil toward a greater good. Fans still dissect and debate the philosophy behind Harry's teachings online and whether he was a good father to Dexter or not. Ultimately, these rules become both Dexter's salvation and his prison. Fact 30. Lumberjack ending. The 2013 finale sees Dexter fake his death and become a lumberjack in Oregon. This divisive choice was meant to symbolize his complete exile from humanity. Fans absolutely hated this ending and felt betrayed by the creative team. The lumberjack twist became a meme representing terrible TV endings. New Blood was specifically created to address fan frustrations with this conclusion. Sometimes creative risks don't pay off. Fact 31. Showtime's rise. Premiering on October 1st, 2006, Dexter elevated Showtime's status to rival HBO's prestige programming. The show's bold narrative choices and complex characters proved that Showtime could produce quality, original content. Dexter's success paved the way for other Showtime hits like Homeland and Billions. The show's influence on the network's reputation persists as new spin-offs keep the brand alive. It can be argued that this one show literally changed the network's entire identity. Fact 32, anti-hero pioneer. Dexter paved the way for shows like Breaking Bad by proving audiences would root for morally complex protagonists. The show earned critical acclaim for its exploration of moral ambiguity and psychological complexity. Early seasons influenced an entire generation of television writers and producers. Without Dexter's success, we might not have Walter White, Joe Goldberg, or Villanelle. The show pioneered the anti-hero television boom that continues today. Dexter has even been dubbed America's favorite serial killer. He really is the OG anti-hero. Fact 33, Netflix rental record. Dexter became Netflix's most rented DVD box set in the pre-streaming era. This achievement proves the show's incredible binge appeal even when physical media was required. Fans couldn't wait for weekly episodes and needed to consume entire seasons at once. The rental record highlighted Dexter's addictive storytelling before binge watching became the norm. Its 2025 streaming availability on Paramount Plus continues to attract new viewers and old fans alike. Fact 34, Season 1 book ties. Season 1 closely mirrors darkly dreaming Dexter, but makes key changes like keeping LaGuerta alive. These tweaks allowed the show to set up future storylines impossible in the book version. The balance between fidelity to the source material and creative freedom shaped the series' entire trajectory. Keeping certain characters alive opened up new dramatic possibilities. This approach let the show honor its source material while also becoming something all its own. Fact 35, Lindsay's legacy. Jeff Lindsay wrote 8 Dexter novels, but the TV show diverged completely after adapting the first book. The series created original villains and storylines to sustain television storytelling. Lindsay served as a consultant to ensure some of the book's spirit remained in the adaptation. This split created 2 distinct Dexter universes for fans to explore and enjoy. Both versions have passionate followings with different strengths and appeals. Fact 36, Slice of Life pun. Dexter's boat name, Slice of Life, serves as a darkly clever reference to his dismemberment rituals and body disposal methods. This subtle wordplay delights observant fans who catch the morbid humor. The boat becomes both his escape and his weapon in the perfect dual symbolism. These details show the writing team's attention to layered storytelling. Sometimes the best jokes are the darkest ones. Fact 37, Slice of Pie. We have all realized that Dexter gets rid of his victims' bodies by dumping them off the side of a boat. But before he perfected his method, Dexter used to toss the body parts of his victims into a swamp. But in Original Sin, did you notice something new happen? By the end of the prequel series, Dexter had already evolved to dumping his victims' body parts into the sea. He had already experienced 2 problems trying to use Alligator Alley, so he knew he had to switch it up. When it came to getting rid of the big bad, Aaron Spencer, Dexter took it to bigger waters. Family friend Camilla told Dexter he could use her boat when needed. Well, unfortunately for, or possibly known to her, Dexter only needed her boat to get rid of the evidence of a murder. As he comes back from dumping his victim's body, the name of the boat is seen clearly, Slice of Pie. A clear homage to the original series, during which Dexter performed a mercy killing. Camilla had terminal cancer, and she wanted to die in peace. She asked Dexter for the perfect piece of key lime pie, and rejected every single one until he injected one with a lethal dose of M99. Fact 38, Rita's shocking end. The season 4 finale reveal of Rita's murder is considered one of television's most gut-punching moments. Trinity's killing of Rita in their bathtub destroyed viewers emotionally. The impact of her death still lingers in fan discussions and retrospectives. This moment is often cited as the peak emotional devastation in the entire series. Julie Benz's innocent portrayal made Rita's death absolutely heartbreaking for everyone involved. Although it was such a big moment in the show, hardly anyone in the cast knew it was coming until the day of filming. The writers wrote in fake endings to the seasons to prevent any leaks and keep the actors fresh and motivated, even if they were slated to die before the next season. Julie Benz says that she regrets not fighting to keep Rita in the show. Who knows how the series would have developed if Dexter's wife and kids had stayed around. Fact 39, Dexter's dark joy. Although Dexter claims his kills serve justice, subtle visual cues show he genuinely enjoys the act of murder. His facial expressions and body language reveal pleasure beyond mere duty. This complexity complicates his anti-hero status and makes him more genuinely disturbing. The show never lets viewers forget that Dexter is ultimately a predator who enjoys killing. This nuance fuels ongoing fan analyses of his true psychological nature. Fact 40, Resurrection Shift. The revival series Dexter Resurrection, released in July of this year, shows Dexter awakening from a coma with a slightly warmer personality. This character evolution hints at possible redemption or at least psychological growth. The change excites fans who are eager to see what comes next in his story. A warmer Dexter could explore themes of healing and humanity that the original series touched on. This evolution represents a fascinating new chapter for the character. Fact 41, Improvised Kill. There is a rare instance in New Blood. Police interrupted Dexter just as he was about to perform a kill, forcing him to murder his victim via drug overdose instead of his preferred knife method. This unusual pivot showcased his adaptability and quick thinking under pressure. The scene demonstrated that Dexter could adjust his methods when circumstances demanded it. Fans love analyzing this moment because it shows his flexibility as a predator. Even the most methodical killers sometimes have to improvise. Fact 42, Subduing Methods. Dexter typically uses chokeholds or M99 tranquilizers to capture his victims safely and quietly. These techniques reflect his forensic precision and scientific approach to murder. His methods keep the kills clean and controlled, fitting his methodical nature perfectly. This is untrue for his first few kills, which required quite a bit of wrestling and hand-to-hand combat. The evolution of his subduing techniques shows how Dexter applies his analytical mind to every aspect of killing. Everything he does serves his need for control and perfection. Fact 43, Lila's Chaos. Season 2's volatile artist Lila West draws inspiration from an even more unhinged version in the books. Her toxic relationship with Dexter explores themes of addiction and destructive attraction. The explosive dynamic between them creates some of the series' most intense psychological drama. Lila represents the chaos that threatens Dexter's carefully controlled world. Sometimes the most dangerous people are those who understand our darkness. Fact 44, Animated Dexter. Dexter Early Cuts is an animated web series that serves as a sort of prequel to the original series. Released online in 2009, Early Cuts explores Dexter's early years as a vigilante serial killer, depicting his first few victims and how he refined his code. The series is presented in a graphic novel-style animation and provides additional backstory not shown in the main series, giving fans deeper insight into Dexter's psychology and moral development. If you are a Dexter mega fan, it's definitely worth checking out. Fact 45, Emmy Haul. Dexter won 4 Emmy Awards, including the aforementioned win for John Lithgow's portrayal of the Trinity Killer. The show also received technical Emmys for achievements like editing and sound design. These accolades highlight the superior craftsmanship behind every aspect of the production. The recognition proves that Dexter excelled in both creative and applied elements. These awards are still celebrated in 2025 retrospectives as proof of the show's quality. Fact 46, IMDb rating. With an impressive 8.6 out of 10 rating from over 750,000 IMDb users, Dexter remains a fan favorite despite finale criticism. The high rating shows that most viewers focus on the show's overall quality rather than just the ending. Hall's performance continues to drive the show's enduring appeal among new and returning viewers. Even with its flaws, Dexter's strengths far outweigh its weaknesses, according to most fans and critics. The high-quality storytelling, casting, and plot lines transcend the arguably disappointing conclusions of the original series and New Blood. The newer installments, Dexter Original Sin and Dexter Resurrection, keep this trend going, holding 8.2 out of 10 and 9 out of 10 ratings respectively. Fact 47, Moral Themes. By many people's admission, the show is so compelling because of how it probes deep questions about justice, guilt, and redemption through Dexter's conflicted psychology. These philosophical themes make Dexter much more than just a crime drama or horror series. The exploration of morality through a killer's perspective forces viewers to examine their own beliefs. These complex themes continue to spark discussions on social media and academic forums. Dexter poses questions about human nature that don't have easy answers, and also provides colorful, eye-catching visuals that make it hard to look away from. Fact 48. Later season criticism. Seasons after the acclaimed 4th season faced significant criticism for uneven plots and character inconsistencies. Many believe that the writing quality declined noticeably after original showrunner Clyde Phillips departed. Character development suffered and storylines became less coherent and compelling. Even the biggest fans acknowledged that the show lost its way in later seasons. Season 7 is seen as a slightly redemptive season, sandwiched between the less impressive seasons 6 and 8. New Blood was even compelling, and I'll be honest, I actually did enjoy New Blood despite the ending, knowing especially that the ending is retconned essentially. New Blood becomes that much more easy to watch. But many were still let down by the finale. Luckily, the finales for Original Sin and Resurrection, on the other hand, have been more well received. Fact 49. 8 novels. Jeff Lindsay wrote 8 Dexter books, but the TV show only adapted the first one directly. The series created entirely unique storylines and character arcs after season 1. This split offers fans 2 distinct Dexter universes to explore and enjoy separately. Both versions have passionate followings who debate the merits of each approach. The books and show complement each other while telling very different stories. Fact 50. Rooting for a killer. Dexter's genius lies in making viewers actively cheer for a serial killer to succeed. This psychological manipulation forces audience to reflect on their own sense of right and wrong. The show challenges viewers to examine why they support vigilante violence in fiction, and if they would do the same in real life. This complex relationship between audience and antihero keeps Dexter a hot topic in pop culture analysis. The show makes us feel complicit in ways that are deeply uncomfortable. Fact 51. Streaming surge. All 8 seasons of Dexter streamed on Netflix in the US until the summer of 2025, fueling a massive wave of new fans. Social media buzz proves that the show's appeal remains timeless across different generations. Streaming platforms have given Dexter a second life with audiences who missed it originally, and also give the ability to indulge in each new installment as well. The accessibility ensures that new viewers continue discovering the series regularly. Good storytelling never goes out of style. Fact 52. Quinn's suspicion. Fans theorize that Detective Quinn suspected Dexter's secret identity starting in season 5 based on subtle clues. Some believe Quinn deliberately ignored evidence to stay out of Dexter's way and maintain his relationship with Deb. This unconfirmed theory adds fascinating depth to Quinn's character development and motivations. The speculation thrives in online fan communities who analyze every interaction. Sometimes what characters don't say is more important than what they do. Fact 53. Secret keepers. Only a handful of characters throughout the series know Dexter's full truth and live to tell about it. Harrison in New Blood joins this exclusive club of people who understand Dexter's nature completely and remain alive. The selective trust Dexter shows heightens the drama whenever someone discovers his secret. Betrayal becomes a constant threat when so few people know the real Dexter. Trust is the most dangerous thing a serial killer can offer. If you're loving these insane facts, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started. Fact 54. Original Sin prequel. Dexter Original Sin, premiering in December 2024, explores young Dexter's first kills with Patrick Gibson starring as young Dexter. The prequel promised fresh insights into how Harry's code developed and shaped young Dexter's evolution. Christian Slater was cast as Harry Morgan to show their relationship's early dynamics. This origin story excites fans who want to understand how Dexter became the killer we know. Prequels can either enhance or diminish a character's mystique, but Original Sin was a hit with many fans, though some did find it to be lackluster and confusing at times due to unexplained retconning in certain areas. Still, for Dexter addicts, getting a prequel series was a huge win. There is a huge petition online to reinstate the renewal of Original Sin. Fingers crossed Paramount reverses their decision to can it. Fact 55. New Blood reboot. Dexter New Blood from 2021 specifically addressed the finale backlash by moving Dexter to a snowy town on the outskirts of New York City. The limited series tried to redeem the character and give fans a more satisfying conclusion. Its ending not only tied into the beginning of Original Sin, but also set up the beginning of the Resurrection series while providing some closure. The show proves that sometimes creative teams get second chances to fix their mistakes, and that fan feedback can actually influence larger production decisions. Fact 56. Ice Truck Killer. Season 1's Brian Moser reveal as Dexter's biological brother remains one of the most shocking twists in television history. The killer's connection to Dexter's childhood trauma created deeply personal stakes for the protagonist. This family connection elevated the typical cat and mouse dynamic into something much more emotionally complex. The twist still gives me chills when I rewatch the first season. Great revelations recontextualize everything that came before. It's also interesting to recognize that Dexter spent over 30 years of his life suppressing his own origins while never being the wiser. And although Brian was the only person who was honest with Dexter, while Harry was proven to be a self-serving liar, Dexter still had more affinity for his foster father than his biological brother. Looks like blood isn't always thicker than water. Fact 57. Dexter's hypocrisy. In season 3 of the original series, Dexter reluctantly befriends Miami's ADA Miguel Prado. It seems that they have a successful friendship going until Miguel kills Ellen Wolf, an innocent woman, simply for interfering with some of his court cases. Dexter is almost willing to let that one slide, but when Miguel begins targeting Maria LaGuerta, Dexter realizes that he is out of control and will continue to kill innocents to suit his own needs. He does end up killing Miguel for this stated reason, but it ends up being quite a fickle decision, seeing as Dexter planned to kill Maria himself by the end of season 7. Maria was on to him and on the brink of proving that he was the Bay Harbor Butcher. In keeping with the code, he couldn't allow himself to get caught, so even though Maria was not a killer, he was going to kill her himself. It's unclear if he even considered the parallels between his decision to eliminate Maria and Miguel's, but the choice was deeply hypocritical either way. It makes one wonder if Dexter was delusional and if his decision to kill Miguel was more personal than he let on when he did. Fact 58. Long Beach Stand-In. Despite being set in sunny Miami, Dexter was primarily filmed in Long Beach, California for budget reasons. The production team used establishing shots of actual Florida locations to maintain authenticity. This cost-saving measure didn't detract from the show's vibrant Miami atmosphere at all. Viewers accepted the fictional Miami because the storytelling was so compelling. Many didn't even realize that it was not actually shot in Miami. Sometimes creative solutions work better than unnecessarily expensive authenticity. Fact 59. Voiceover insight. Hall's internal narration gives viewers direct access to Dexter's emotionless, calculating mind. The intimate voiceover perspective makes audiences complicit in his thoughts and plans. This narrative technique blends dark humor with chilling psychology perfectly. The inner voice makes viewers feel like Dexter's confidants and accomplices. And although some of his flashbacks prove Dexter to be a slightly unreliable narrator, the first-person narration still creates unprecedented intimacy with the killer. Fact 60. Trinity's Mirror. Season 4's Trinity Killer serves as a dark reflection of Dexter's own attempts to balance killing with family life. Both characters hide their murderous nature behind facades of normalcy and respectability. John Lithgow's performance created the perfect psychological foil for Dexter's internal struggles. The parallel between their lives made Trinity the most compelling and terrifying villain. Sometimes the best enemies reflect the hero's own darkness. Luckily for us, our famed anti-hero would never treat the people around him the way that Trinity does. Trinity's choice of victims and his treatment of his family serve to humanize Dexter. Fact 61. Justice debates. Dexter sparked real-world discussions about vigilante ethics and the nature of justice in modern society. Fans continue debating the morality of Dexter's code on social media and academic forums. The show's influence extends beyond entertainment into serious philosophical discourse. These discussions prove that great television challenges audiences on many levels. Fiction becomes powerful when it compels us to examine real beliefs. Fact 62. Harrison's legacy. Dexter's son Harrison grapples with his inherited darkness throughout New Blood's generational storyline. The father-son conflict explores whether evil is learned or genetic. Harrison's struggle resonates with fans exploring themes of nature versus nurture in human development. This is seen not only between Dexter and Harrison, but between Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity Killer, and his estranged and deeply disturbed daughter, Christine Hill. The Next Generation storyline adds fresh perspective to very relatable real-life themes. Children always pay for their parents' sins in some way, and yet they still tend to vie for the love and acceptance from those parents, no matter how traumatic their relationship has been. Fact 63. Harry's Code Origins. Harry's Code represents a flawed attempt to channel Dexter's uncontrollable urges toward a greater good. The philosophical framework drives fan theories about control, morality, and the nature of evil. The code becomes both Dexter's salvation and his prison throughout the series. These rules provide structure for a chaotic mind while limiting true freedom. Moral frameworks often become their own kind of trap, and many question Harry's decision to train his son to be a killer with a conscience, rather than finding him help or allowing him to be arrested. Was Harry actually insane himself? Some argue that he was, but the interpretation is highly subjective and varies from viewer to viewer. Fact 64. Miguel Prado's betrayal. Season 3's corrupt prosecutor Miguel Prado, played expertly by Jimmy Smits, starts as Dexter's ally before becoming a dangerous enemy. The arc's unexpected twists and character development make it a standout storyline that fans couldn't look away from. Prado's transformation from friend to foe shows how power corrupts even well-intentioned people. This betrayal ranks high in fan discussions of the series' best antagonists. The need to take out Miguel is reminiscent of when Dexter had to kill his own brother to protect innocent people. Loneliness seemed to be an inevitable part of Dexter's legacy at that point. He couldn't and didn't really trust anyone, and it seemed he never would. Fact 65. Dark humor. Dexter masterfully balances graphic violence with ironic humor and clever killer quips during murder scenes. This tonal mixture keeps the show engaging and accessible despite its dark subject matter. The humor provides necessary relief from the intense psychological horror. Dexter's jokes during kills are disturbingly funny and memorable. Comedy can make even the darkest material palatable. Fact 66. Resurrection casting. Dexter Resurrection has a plot unlike any other season in the Dexter universe thus far. It follows Dexter as he infiltrates what is essentially a social club for serial killers, organized by a maniacal billionaire. Besides Dexter, who is masquerading as someone else as usual, there were 4 other killers in the group, each more fascinating than the next. What is amazing about this new group is that they are each portrayed by an award-winning actor who's able to perfectly embody exactly what the script called for their particular character. Even more amazing is that the showrunners got their first choice actor for every role. That is almost unheard of in Hollywood. Plenty of times there are scheduling conflicts for shoots, other times the actor is not interested in the offer or the project. But for Dexter Resurrection, every single person Clyde Phillips and the crew had in mind immediately agreed to join the cast. Everyone. Uma Thurman, Peter Dinklage, Eric Stonestreet, Kristen Ritter, Neil Patrick Harris, David Dastmalchian was more than ecstatic to be invited to be part of such a beloved series. There were no casting issues because of this, and that helped to give fans an absolutely spectacular first season. Season 2 is unlikely to disappoint as we see a full return to form for the show. Fact 67. Art imitating life. It's a little known fact that Jack Alcott, who plays Harrison, and Emilia Suarez, the actress who plays Elsa in Resurrection, are actually friends in real life. They had been friends long before she was cast, and it was actually Jack who broke the news to her that she had gotten the role. He called her up one day and asked if she wanted to run lines together, and it slowly dawned on her that she was going to be on the show. To say that she was overjoyed would be an understatement. The opportunity to work with a person you are already so comfortable with, while also being amongst greats like Michael C. Hall and Uma Thurman, no doubt made their performances much less strained and highly authentic. They were both very happy to know that they would be working on such a unique and loved project together. Hopefully we get to see more of Elsa and her son Dante in the next season. Fact 68. Batista and Wallace. Much like Jack and Emilia, David Zayas and Kadia Seraf have been friends in real life for years. It was actually David who encouraged Kadia to audition for the role of Claudette Wallace. Though she is far less still and standoffish in real life, he knew that his friend would be able to pull off the role of Detective Claudette Wallace no problem. And pull it off she did. Claudette is perhaps one of the most unique characters we've witnessed in the history of the series. Her disinterest in receiving praise, her disaffected speech patterns, and overall detachment from the opinions of her colleagues makes Wallace stand out, and Katia hit all the right marks for this role. Such perfect casting was a mainstay in Dexter Resurrection, and we have David Zayas, another unforgettable actor, to thank for her involvement. Fact 69. Hall's charm. Michael C. Hall's casting, though initially questioned, was also spot on. His performance perfectly blends Dexter's awkward social warmth with his underlying cold detachment. This nuanced acting makes a monster somehow sympathetic and relatable to audiences. Hall's universal praise for this complex portrayal drives the show's continuing streaming popularity. His ability to humanize a killer, while maintaining his menacing nature, is unprecedented. Great acting can make us empathize with almost anyone. Fact 70. Dark passenger shift. The novels portray Dexter's dark passenger as an actual demonic entity, while the show treats it as a psychological metaphor. Not everyone who loves the shows has read the books, but understand there are plenty of key differences between the two. This supernatural element would have been too mystical for television's grounded approach. The psychological interpretation keeps the series rooted in believable human psychology. This change made Dexter more relatable while maintaining his mystique. Oftentimes, less supernatural means more scary, as people begin to believe that they could find themselves in a situation like the one on the screen. The slight shift in what the dark passenger is or represents only helped solidify Dexter in the cultural zeitgeist, kinda like the Gemini Killer was. Fact 71. Which Gareth is which? Spoiler ahead. If you have finished Dexter Resurrection, you know that there was not one Gemini Killer, but two. Gareth was a twin, and not even Prater was ever the wiser. They had a pact never to be seen in public together, and they also developed a sophisticated style of communication that would allow them to plan kills without a digital trail. But if you watch closely, you'll notice the subtle differences between the two Gareths. The actor David Dastmalchian made the creative choice to make one of the twins left-handed and the other right-handed. One also tends to wear more muted and dark colors, while the other incorporates more colors into their wardrobe. Lastly, one of the twins is more of a braggart, while the other is less interested in the notoriety that the Gemini Killer case has gained. These differences are so slight that you could be forgiven for not noticing them at first, but once they are seen, they can't be unseen. Just like the original soundtrack cannot be unheard, it is iconic and perfectly curated. Fact 72. Miami soundtrack. Daniel Licht, R.I.P., the composer of the original series' iconic theme song. Daniel's Latin-infused musical score perfectly captures Miami's cultural, sultry, and dangerous atmosphere. The music enhances both tension and the show's unique geographic personality. The iconic theme song is still remixed and referenced on YouTube all the time. Great television music becomes inseparable from the viewing experience. The entire playlist for Dexter is available on YouTube, and it's well worth the listen. The right soundtrack can transport you to another world. Fact 73. More about the music. Much like with the original series, the add-on series have soundtracks that are perfect for what they are trying to pull off. Original Sin uses classics from that time period, including Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby, Nothing But a Good Time by Poison, and Everybody Dance Now by C+C Music Factory, which were all incredibly popular in the 90s. New Blood offers more of a small town feel with its soundtrack, which is apt given that Iron Lake is a very small town. And finally, Resurrection comes through with beats that are varied, featuring a nice blend of urban hip-hop, underground indie, classic rock, and even a few widely accepted songs like Mad World, the cover of Tears for Fears by Gary Jules. Fun fact, Gary Jules re-recorded this song just for the ending of Dexter Resurrection Episode 9. All of the soundtracks complement their respective series so well. Dexter fans get it all. Compelling storylines, captivating character development, insane visuals, and soundtracks to match. But not every part of Dexter has been so widely accepted by viewers. Fact 74. Hannah McKay's romance. Yvonne Strahovski's Hannah in seasons 7 and 8 represents a killer who matches Dexter's darkness perfectly. Their relationship explores whether two monsters can find love without destroying each other. The chemistry between them creates a volatile and fascinating romantic dynamic. Hannah understands Dexter in ways that normal people never could. Love between killers becomes the ultimate forbidden romance, but not all fans were on board with the relationship. Hannah McKay was a cold-blooded killer who even tried to kill Dexter's sister Deb, yet he continued pursuing her as if she didn't meet the code and wasn't deserving of his knife. Hannah lied directly to Dexter's face and even tried to gaslight him into thinking he was crazy for even thinking she would try to kill Deborah, only for him to find out it was all true. Yet he still wanted to be with her, and even left his only son with her. While it's understandable that he would want to be with someone who understood his urge and didn't want to control him, under no other circumstance has Dexter ever allowed someone to play with him the way he let Hannah. Their romance was a complete diversion from who we all knew Dexter to be. He let us down in a way by choosing her, abandoning his son, and running away to be a lumberjack. Or maybe he just made us realize how complicit we all were in his selfishness. Either way, while we all wanted to see Dexter happy, not everyone could get on board with the idea of that being with known killer Hannah McKay. Fact 75, Trivia Treasure Trove. Websites like Fun Trivia hosted over 225 detailed Dexter questions, covering everything from obscure quotes to specific murder methods. These extensive quizzes fuel active fan engagement across online communities. The depth of fan knowledge proves the show's lasting cultural impact. Trivia communities keep shows alive long after they end. True fans remember every detail. Fact 76, Trivia Galore. Trivia Nerd hosts nearly 100 Dexter questions, testing everything from plot details to obscure character facts. These comprehensive quizzes keep fan communities active and engaged years after the show ended. The depth of available trivia proves how thoroughly fans absorbed every detail. Knowledge becomes a form of fandom expression. Fact 77, Forensic Props. The show's laboratory equipment was sourced from actual forensic suppliers to ensure complete authenticity. These realistic props added credibility to Dexter's day job as a blood spatter analyst. The attention to detail impresses both casual viewers and forensic professionals. Authentic props ground fictional worlds in believable reality. Sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference. Fact 78, New Blood Redemption. The 2021 limited series specifically tackled fan criticisms of the original finale with a snowy small-town setting. Moving Dexter to rural New York created entirely new conflicts and character dynamics. The series provided some closure while setting up future storylines. This redemption attempt proves that creators sometimes get chances to fix their mistakes. Fan feedback can actually influence creative decisions. Fact 79, Cody and Harrison recast. Two of Rita's children were recast in later seasons due to the natural aging of child actors. This is a common television challenge requiring seamless transitions to maintain story continuity. Real-time aging often affects fictional families. The actor for Cody was replaced once, as were the twins that originally played Harrison. In order to age Harrison up appropriately for the last season, a new child actor who was slightly older and had more advanced motor skills was brought on to portray young Harrison. This is a common practice in the industry. There are some scenes where you don't even see Cody's face because that would reveal the truth of the recast. Few fans recognize that he was replaced because of this expert camera angling. However, he definitely seems different. Dexter is far from the first show to do something like this, but they arguably did it the best. It didn't detract from the viewing pleasure of the fans, and it didn't undermine the work that the previous child actors did, as they have all gotten credit and fair pay for their work. It is perhaps some of the best mid-series cast swapping ever seen. Fact 80, Hall's musical promo. Michael C. Hall once sang a playful version of the Dexter theme song for a Showtime promotional campaign. This rare, lighthearted moment showcased his Broadway musical theater background. The contrast between his singing and his dark character created an amusing promotional moment. Fans love seeing Hall's personality outside of his killer persona. Sometimes actors need to remind us they're human. Fact 81, The Band. Did you know that Michael C. Hall is in a band? Hall has a phenomenal voice and is a really good stage performer. The full name of the band was originally Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum, inspired by an idea from the drummer's daughter. However, it was eventually shortened to Princess Goes for marketing and pricing purposes. You can check them out on YouTube, and they also have done international tours to critical acclaim. There doesn't seem to be anything that Michael C. Hall cannot do. Fact 82. Global bans. Dexter was banned in countries like Malaysia for its violent content and moral complexity. The show's provocative edge triggered international censorship concerns. These restrictions highlight how different cultures view media violence and anti-hero narratives. The bans actually increased interest in regions where the show was available. Humans are ever curious, meaning that forbidden content often becomes more desirable as we long to look behind the curtain. Fact 83. Deb's discovery. Season 6 ends with Deb catching Dexter mid-kill in one of television's most shocking cliffhangers. This pivotal moment completely shatters their sibling bond and changes everything. Jennifer Carpenter's raw performance in this devastating scene is absolutely unforgettable. The discovery forces both characters to confront the truth they've been avoiding. Some secrets are too big to survive, but Deb's love for her brother prevails in the end. Deb will always choose Dexter, even to her own peril. And that leaves many people wondering what they would do if they discovered their sibling was as deranged as Dexter. Fact 84. Lindsay's other books' wild plots. Jeff Lindsay's later novels feature cannibals, voodoo, and supernatural elements, too outlandish for television adaptation. The books take increasingly bizarre turns that would never work on screen, but Dexter's realistic approach wisely avoided these more fantastical storylines. This restraint helped maintain the series' grounded psychological thriller tone. Sometimes less is definitely more, and the producers of Dexter struck the perfect balance. Fact 85. Bloodslide merch. Showtime actually sold replica Bloodslide keychains as official Dexter merchandise. Fans could literally own miniature versions of Dexter's murder trophies. These morbid collectibles became sought-after items among dedicated fans. The merchandise blurred the line between fiction and reality in fascinating ways. Only Dexter could make serial killer memorabilia so easily marketable. Fact 86. Lumen's Alliance. Season 5's Lumen Pierce, played by Julia Stiles, becomes Dexter's temporary killing partner in a unique revenge mission. She's one of the few characters who sees Dexter's full ritual and ultimately survives. Their partnership offers a rare glimpse of what acceptance might look like for Dexter after decades of feeling like an outcast. Lumen's departure represents a missed opportunity for genuine human connection, but it's Dexter's reaction to her decision to leave that adds compelling complexity to who and what he truly is. When Lumen says that she can't stay with him, Dexter almost cries. He throws a plate, he begs her not to go, but in the end he accepts her departure and goes on about his day as if he wasn't hurting. It was one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the series, knowing that Dexter has been waiting to connect with someone again and watching them reject him outright. Sometimes healing requires sharing our darkness, and sometimes it requires moving on. Fact 87. Comic expansion. Marvel published Dexter comics that explore side stories and additional murders not shown on television. These graphic novels expand the book's universe with extra kills and character development. The comics allow for more graphic content than cable television could ever show. They thrill fans seeking more Dexter content beyond the show's limits. Different mediums offer different storytelling possibilities, and this is definitely one of those cases. Fact 88. Zayas' authenticity. David Zayas' real NYPD experience shapes every aspect of Batista's believable police behavior and instincts. His authentic law enforcement background elevates the entire Miami Metro ensemble. Real-world insight makes fictional police work more convincing and grounded. Having actual cops in the cast adds legitimacy to procedural elements. Experience trumps acting in creating authentic characters. Fact 89. Tonight's the night. Dexter's chilling catchphrase has become a widespread internet meme used both humorously and ominously. The phrase transcends the show to become part of general pop culture vocabulary. Its virality on social media platforms shows the show's lasting cultural reach. Certain lines become bigger than their original context. Memorable quotes take on lives of their own. Fact 90. Safe props. Retractable knives and specially designed tools ensured actor safety during realistic kill scenes. The special effects team created convincing violence without any actual danger. This professional craftsmanship impresses fans exploring behind-the-scenes content. Safety protocols allow for believable violence without real harm. Movie magic makes the impossible look effortless, and the Dexter crew did that perfectly. Fact 91, Vogel's role. Season 8's Dr. Evelyn Vogel reveals she helped Harry craft the original code for young Dexter. Her maternal connection to Dexter's origin story ties together loose narrative threads. The character adds psychological depth to Dexter's backstory and moral framework. Some fans loved the added context, while others found it unnecessary. Prequels within sequels can enhance or complicate existing mythology, and Vogel's introduction certainly highlighted that separation in understanding and appreciation. Fact 92, Anti-hero influence. Dexter predated Breaking Bad and directly influenced the current anti-hero television boom. The show proved audiences would embrace morally complex protagonists who challenged traditional heroism. Its pioneering status inspired countless shows featuring morally ambiguous main characters. Without Dexter's success, television might look completely different today. Cultural influence extends far beyond individual episodes. Fact 93, softened Dexter. Early scripts portrayed Dexter as completely robotic, but Hall's input added crucial humanity to the character. The actor's suggestions made Dexter relatable without sacrificing his menacing nature. This collaborative approach ensured the show's emotional core could endure across multiple seasons. Character development requires balance between consistency and growth. Actor insight can improve even the best writing. Fact 94, Matthews' silent knowledge. Fan theory suggests that Captain Matthews was aware of Dexter's true nature, but chose silence over investigation to protect him. Evidence throughout the series supports this theory of willful ignorance. Matthews' behavior indicates he deliberately avoided pursuing certain leads. He even brought Dexter in to examine the blood slides found in Doak's car, and he discouraged Maria from pursuing Dexter as the BHB, even when she was clearly onto something. This unconfirmed speculation adds fascinating layers to seemingly simple interactions. Sometimes characters know more than they let on. Fact 95, fake blood recipe. The show's realistic blood effects used corn syrup, food coloring, and safe additives. These practical effects created convincing gore without expensive digital work. The recipe fascinates fans who want to recreate the show's visual style. Those simple ingredients can create a powerful visual impact with proper technique. Practical effects often look far more convincing than digital alternatives, and I will vote for practical effects over CGI any day, all day long. Fact 96, trauma's roots. Dexter's killing urges stem from witnessing his mother's chainsaw murder as a toddler. This defining childhood trauma explains his complete emotional disconnection and need for control. The origin story provides a psychological foundation for his adult behavior patterns. Understanding trauma helps explain seemingly inexplicable actions and motivations. Childhood experiences shape adult psychology in profound ways. Fact 97, episode count. The 96 episodes across 8 seasons lay the groundwork for a comprehensive exploration from the series. The extended episode count allows for deep character development and complex story arcs. This length enables the show to examine themes from multiple angles over time. Long-form storytelling permits nuanced character evolution, impossible in shorter formats. Some stories require time to fully develop, and Dexter is no exception. Fact 98, genre blend. Dexter uniquely combines crime procedural elements with psychological thriller perspectives from the killer's viewpoint. This hybrid approach distinguishes it from typical police shows or horror series. The killer's eye view creates unprecedented narrative possibilities and moral complexity. Genre blending can create entirely new storytelling categories when executed skillfully. Innovation comes from combining familiar elements in new ways. Fact 99, Lumen's survival. For so long, Lumen Pierce remained the only character to witness Dexter's complete killing ritual and initially walk away alive. Their shared trauma created a unique bond that transcends normal human relationships. Her survival and departure represent both hope and loss for Dexter's humanity. The missed connection resonates as one of the series' most poignant what-if moments. Some relationships are too dangerous to survive. Fact 100, Dexter game. A mobile game allows players to solve crimes while making Dexter's moral choices. The interactive experience extends the show's legacy into gaming platforms. Players can explore ethical decisions and consequences in Dexter's world. The 2025 game availability proves the franchise's continued relevance across media. Interactive storytelling offers new ways to engage with familiar characters. Fact 101. Dexter wouldn't approve. In Season 6, Dexter is met with the boyfriend of his son's nanny, Lewis Green. Lewis wanted to create a video game in which the player could perform as the serial killer. And given Dexter's background in forensics, he figured that Dexter would be able to give him some insight on developing the game. However, much to his surprise, Dexter was appalled by the game. He asks Lewis who would choose to be a serial killer. He says that he finds the game offensive, and that makes it all the more absurd that they would create a video game about Dexter, but that's exactly what they did. Fact 102. Fictional Metro. Miami Metro Homicide draws inspiration from real Florida police procedures despite being fictional. The department feels authentic because it's grounded in actual law enforcement practices. This realism contrasts effectively with Dexter's dark fantasy elements. Believable settings make unbelievable characters more acceptable to audiences. Reality anchors fiction in ways that matter. Fact 103. Kill room icon. Dexter's plastic-wrapped kill rooms have become an iconic horror trope symbolizing clinical brutality. The stark imagery appears across multiple media formats as a visual shorthand for methodical violence. These rooms represent the intersection of domesticity and death in disturbing ways. Iconic images transcend their original context to become cultural symbols. Visual impact creates lasting cultural memory. Fact 104. Harry's ghost. Dexter doesn't actually see his foster father when they speak. Instead, Harry's apparitions serve as Dexter's moral compass and visualize his internal ethical struggles. This narrative device makes abstract concepts concrete and accessible to viewers. The ghostly presence represents both guidance and judgment throughout the series. Supernatural elements can ground psychological concepts in visual storytelling. Internal conflict becomes external dialogue through creative techniques. Fact 105. Showtime's freedom. Cable network broadcasting made Dexter's graphic content impossible to show on traditional broadcast television. This creative liberty amplified the show's intensity and pushed boundaries others couldn't cross. The freedom to explore darker themes attracted viewers seeking more mature content. Platform restrictions can shape creative possibilities in fundamental ways. Artistic freedom requires the right distribution medium. Fact 106. New Blood's end. New Blood concludes with Harrison killing Dexter to break the cycle of violence. This ending provides closure while being undone by Resurrection's continuation. The father-son murder represents both justice and tragedy in complex ways. Definitive endings become temporary when the actors and viewers still want more. In this case, that closure was just another beginning. Fact 107. Lasting legacy. Despite finale criticism, Dexter remains a benchmark for crime dramas and anti-hero storytelling. The show influenced countless series, including Killing Eve, You, and many others. Its Netflix popularity and multiple spin-offs cement its enduring cultural impact. Quality storytelling transcends individual disappointing episodes or controversial endings. Dexter's cultural legacy survives temporary setbacks, continues inspiring new creativity, and leaving fans begging for more. Bonus, why we got more Dexter. The idea for the premise of Dexter Resurrection, that Dexter didn't actually die at the end of Dexter New Blood, came from Michael C. Hall himself. He suggested in casual conversation with the creative team that since the bullet didn't hit him in the head, what if his character survived? That twist provided the catalyst for Dexter Resurrection, where Dexter wakes from a 10-week coma, tries to find his son, and rebuild his life while grappling with his past. If you liked this video, check out our breakdown of hidden Easter eggs in Dexter Resurrection. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, share, and subscribe.